Fresh is the word.
I'm Jim Duggan, got long wood for plenty hoes. I keep it fresher than fresh, but you already know. You suckers bummy, I'm money, I got a ton of flows. My weed loud like a motherfucking thunder roll. Your shit quiet like you ballin' on a budget though. We see your kicks and we laugh and yellin' what are those. You see me shining like a suit on puffy. You know my grind and shit is too strong, buddy. That's why the dude call money. I be stuntin' like it's nothing at all. Cause it's nothing to me, it's probably something to y'all. Trying to smoke like me, then come and fuck with your dog. Got a closet full of kicks, you can't cop it them all. And I'm fresher than the freshest, you can tell it's in my essence. Bitch, you see the way I'm rapping, yes I do this shit to death. I tell I'm running out of breath, I tell somebody cut a check. But either way you know it's fresh, and either way you know it's fresh. Fresh, we fresh. Fresh, goddammit, we fresh.
Welcome to the Fresh is the Word podcast, the podcast about music, pro wrestling, and MMA. I'm your host, K Fresh, and we got a great show for you. But before we get to the show, I definitely want to talk to you about some friends of mine. Undeniable Press. If you need any screen printing done, holler at them. They're located in the Corktown neighborhood of Detroit. And if you need any t-shirts, posters, little promotional items, whatever, holler at them. They can hook you up. You can go to facebook.com/undeniable.press for more information on how to reach them. Also, those same guys have a clothing line called 20 by 20 Apparel. It's wrestling themed. So they have all these cool t-shirts and whatnot that are all wrestling themed. So go to their website, which is 20x20apparel.com. That's the number 20x, the number 20 apparel.com to check out their catalog. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can go to freshasthepodcast.com and share any links that are up there on any of your social medias. That would be greatly appreciated. There's also a link on the website that says support the podcast with a PayPal link you can donate to. And then there's also an Amazon link that you can use if you ever make any purchases on Amazon. And it doesn't do anything different on your end, but it just shoots back a little bit of commission my way if you use that link on your purchases. So that would be fantastic. You can also follow Fresh is the Word on social media on Twitter and Instagram at Fresh is the Word 1. That's Fresh is the Word, then the number 1. And then on Facebook at facebook.com/Fresh is the Podcast. And then also you can subscribe to Fresh is the Word on iTunes and Stitcher. So go ahead and do that. And please leave any comments or rating, preferably 5 stars. That would definitely help out the podcast on gaining some exposure in the podcast world. There's a million podcasts. Let me stick out a little bit. So on to the show. A really great guest this week. Actually, 2 guests. One is a hip-hop legend, Chino XL. We all know him from back in the day. His video, No Complex, was played so much on UMTV Raps that I even told him I got sick of it. And we talk about those times. And also joining him is a singer based out of LA named Rama Duke. Chino and Rama recently just released a new song. It's a reimagining of the old Red Hot Chili Peppers song Under the Bridge for this generation. They updated it with their own twist. And it was produced by a good friend of mine, an old Detroit native who now stays out in LA, Jared Gosselin. And the single is pretty much a kickoff of Jared's new label, which is 1520 Entertainment. So you can go to 1520entertainment.com to check out the video for Under the Bridge and just stay abreast of everything that they're doing. So let's get on to the show with Chino XL and Rama Duke. All right, great. Thanks for taking the time out to chat with me.
Thanks for having us, brother.
No doubt. So you got this new single out. It's a modern interpretation of Red Hot Chili Peppers' Under the Bridge. How did this track come about?
Well, my last album, Reconstruction, Jared did a lot of mixing and did a lot of scratches, and we were working at Frank Zappa's studio, and there was a lot of instruments in there, and I was like, I said, Jared, we should make a remake of Under the Bridge and make it like a love song for LA. And we didn't have time because we had to turn the album in. and it just didn't seem like it fit. So we didn't do it. And probably about 6 months later, I got a call from Jared, who produced the record, Jared Gosselin, and he said to me that Rama's group had a really good hard rock version of it that he heard them play live, and I should check it out.
Okay.
And that he was going to track it out and send it to me. And he sent it to me, and it was mind-blowing, and that's how it really started, man.
Cool. Yeah, Chino, you've always had sort of a ear for things that were, a mix of hip-hop and rock and roll, because I know you're, way back in the day you had Creep, which was also had the interpretation of the Radiohead song in it.
Absolutely.
Cool. Rama, what was, you had this, with your band, you were already, you had this version of this song. What was your inspiration to cover this song?
I was working on a hard rock album, and actually a few of the guys, or one of the guys, I was playing at a local tavern every Tuesday, and we would cover like really dope, like 90s rock songs, and that was one of them. I mean, I grew up on Red Hot Chili Peppers. So it kind of just meshed well because, it was one of my favorite bands, one of my favorite songs. So when he wanted to do it, it was like, hell yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I've known Jared for a long time, here in Detroit.
My condolences.
Yeah, I remember from back in the day when he was working with Big Proof from D12 and the whole Iron Fist Records camp. And even before that, I remember when he was just skinny little kid turntablist out in the suburbs and stuff like that. He probably doesn't even want me to talk about that, but I remember those days.
How I actually know him. How I actually know him is when I was working with Proof, he was managing Proof's studio.
Yeah.
And later on, when Proof passed away, we did a bunch of tribute records to him with verses that Proof had, never put out. And so that's so basically Proof is our common denominator how we met. Also.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, with this collaboration, this new song that you do, this reinterpretation of Under the Bridge, what was sort of the theme behind your version of it?
Well, I knew from reading Anthony Kiedis' book what it was about, that it was about heroin addiction.
Okay.
And I didn't really get that from listening to the song. As much as I love the song, I didn't really get that. So once I knew that was it, and I found the metaphor, heroin and heroin, it was kind of easy. I just kind of went off of that. And the original name of the song was Stick With You, which was the, metaphor for the actual, injecting the drug and also being stuck with a woman that you don't really need to be with, because, I did the whole metaphor as the drug for a woman.
Right.
And then there's parts in the song also where Rama is like, I'll never leave you or whatever. So actually for me in the song, Rama is actually the heroine of the song. So in my mind, once I kind of had that as a mnemonic device, it was really, really easy to put it together with the bookends of, the composition. So for me, also her elocution of Under the Bridge Downtown, the way she says it, doesn't have as much, it's a lot more clear and has less swag than the original version. So her phonation of it made me understand or resonated with me more of what it was actually saying per literature. So it's a lot easier.
Right. Rama, what was sort of your inspiration for your part for this song?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What was sort of your inspiration about how to make it your own and make it relevant for what's, going on today?
Honestly, it's just a great song, and I always twist songs to bend in my way so that I can let it out. I don't know. I'm kind of tripping over my words, but if I get deep with it, I've dealt with addiction. I deal with addiction. It's a pretty easy song to put myself into. But I love the songs I grew up with. I love making my own interpretations of them. So it just kind of came out naturally. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was reading up about the from the press release and everything, and said that you're going to be donating the proceeds to the Action Family Foundation. How important is it for even just to use this song to sort of reach out to the community?
It's super important. I've done a lot of community work with my team with Immortal Technique, the Rebel Arms, and so for the last couple of years, I realized how much that the communities are hurting. And not to be corny and campy and cliche, but people really reach out to you when they know that you have a responsibility when it comes to music, sort of.
Yeah.
And there was literally nowhere to point them in a direction that we knew. And Sean Favos from 1520 found the action team with the guy who runs it, Carrie. And Carrie has for 30 years been hands-on dealing with children and their parents and people that are older that have issues or whatever. And he's like a superhero in that world. And so we went to one of the meetings and talked to a lot of children and talked to their parents. And if we put an actual face to what we were doing and can literally literally refer them to this place if they're having issues, instead of sitting there and trying to pretend like we know how to help them, in a professional manner. We partnered up with that family and actually have them as referrals as we travel all over the country and people, tell us their story.
Right. Yeah, we're kind of, living in some weird times these days, especially since the, the presidential election. And then, like, you have stuff like, things like here in Detroit where they're revitalizing the city, but it's like the downtown area and certain areas are like where it's being revitalized, and there's still that other Detroit that's still hurting. Do you still, wherever you go, do you still see that sort of gap between the sort of gentrification of some parts and then the sort of there's other parts that are being ignored? And what do you hope you can do to kind of help those people that are in need?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you said it. You hit the nail on the head. It's exactly the problem is that they have completely erased the middle class, and the gap between the haves and the have-nots is so great that the people who really, are struggling or trying to live, quote unquote, the American dream are just falling through the cracks. So really, the only thing that you can possibly do is, hope to inspire and let people know that, to not give up hope. Try to give people all the information they can about starting their own business and working for themselves, because it's really hard times economically, and I don't really see anything helping except for people really trying to empower themselves.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I've seen since this.
The gentrification is really only helping the certain people and only helping on the surface. Like, things look a lot more pretty, you know what I mean, in certain areas, but their actual existence is making the outskirts and the real communities hideous.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely see that here in Detroit. There's definitely a difference between what's going on downtown, which, there's things that are needed, but it's like at the same time you're asking, what about the people that have been here? How do they fit into that equation?
Say that again. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all right. I was just saying that, with all this sort of revitalization, you see certain parts, that were needed, certain things that were needed, but the people that were already there, you're questioning about how do they fit into that equation?
Yeah, they're actually getting pushed out.
Right.
And as you speak, I think isn't Flint's water still a mess?
Oh yeah, Flint still does not have clean water.
I mean, let's not even go into that right now, because it upsets me so much that it seems like what else could be more important than that? What else?
Right. Water. Like water, for real. Water. And you can't help but...
There was a time... They've changed it now, but there was a time when if you did that bottled water and spring water when you purchased it, that you could actually make it a deduction on your taxes because if you're a citizen in the United States, you're supposed to be provided with clean drinking water.
Right.
They've changed it, but to look how far that it's falling, Flint's water is, man. I mean, I like I said, if we start talking about that, it's going to make everything else not important. And, I just hope that everything that everybody's doing to try to get that to change, that's going on at some time, it's going to, because it's really ridiculous, man. I mean, you got so many people donating money and so many people going and whatever, and for it to not have changed yet it's maddening. Definitely.
Yeah, since, with this, with your new song, with the, this reimagining of Under the Bridge, it looks like there's been a lot of positive feedback in regards to it. I even saw that Mauro Ranallo gave you props.
Yeah, how tight is that?
Yeah, man.
and then Ras Rutan liked it. Did you see that?
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
I love those guys.
Me too. I mean, I know that I make some hardcore shit, and I know people train to it. And I know because of my physique, a lot of those dudes kind of like, oh, Chino's a cool cat type of shit. You know what I mean? But I've had a lot of records, man, and it's the support that this record is getting. Like when I was on Be Real TV the other day, a man at the DJ over there was like, yo, are you surprised at the reaction to it? And I was like, a little bit, dude. I mean, we took a chance on believing that the hybrid wasn't a hybrid, that it was just an expression from our heart, and that it spans all genres into just being in the realness department. And the fact that people really like it and are supporting it this much, I'd be lying if I just could say, I stick at my chest and say I told you so. Not at all, man. I wasn't sure. I was sure that the song was a good, solid record and the message was there and that it was written from a place of honesty. But for it to be received in the rock world and the hip hop world and the alternative world the way it is, I'm really just humbly excited, and I'm really happy for Rama. I mean, it's her first release, dude.
Definitely. Rama, how does it feel like, all the positive feedback you've been hearing in regards to the record?
I love it. I'm a very snobby, music person, and there's even some of my own songs I can't listen to, but this one, I could just hear it again and again, and I kind of knew in my heart that it was going to be received this way, just for the fact that it's just two people coming from a really pure place. There's no gimmicks. It's just two musicians getting in a room and rocking it out. I'm happy that people know their music.
Right.
I think it's a great song.
Yeah, and the thing is, most of the time, a lot of the times when a popular song gets sampled or gets reimagined or something like that, a lot of the energy of that new version still exists because of the old version. But I think with this track, there's so much depth and realness to it that, while, there's a nostalgia for the Chili Peppers song, you can just enjoy this song on its own because there is a lot of realness to it, and that's what I like about it.
Man, thank you so much. It means
Thank
a lot
you.
that you like it, dude. It means a lot that you like it.
No doubt. Kind of a part of this podcast that I do is, I do talk about pro wrestling and MMA and everything. And that's why I brought up the Mauro Ranallo thing. Are either of you fans of boxing or MMA or pro wrestling or anything?
I'm a fan of UFC.
Okay.
I'm more of when it comes to wrestling, I'm more of an old school guy.
Back in the WWF eras, the 80s, 90s eras?
Yeah, man. trust me when I say, like, me jumping off mattresses and wanting to be Jimmy Superfly Snuka, me putting a goddamn stocking over my head, wanting to be Mila Mascaras, so all that, you know, wanting to be Hulk Hogan, and I mean, obviously, you could tell, I wanted to look like a wrestler. I ended up, you know, I go to the fucking, I'm in the airport, and people are asking my dudes, like, is that a wrestler? It's like, nah, oh, not a wrestler.
Right, you know, you've always been like jacked, man. I remember like the first time I ever saw you was for that No Complex video, man. They used to play that on MTV Rap so much so that I got sick of that damn video, man, because they did play that a lot. And I was always like,
I mean, dude, the song was supposed to come out in April.
Yeah.
And I mean, in May, and it ended up coming out in March. They put it on the videos 2 months before they were supposed to.
Yeah.
So I literally went from, like, going to the bodega on the corner of my street to get, like, Chinese food with nobody really, you know, like, really giving a shit.
Right.
To, like, not being able to take my garbage out without people taking pictures of shit in, like, 3 days.
Right, man. They played that video a lot for a long time, man. I was like... I'm like, oh, this video again? But no, that was really dope, man. And I that's like, I remember that time vividly, man. It's like, and that was always like a great track and everything. They played it a lot. Yeah, no, you've always been a jack dude. You've been, a healthy looking guy, for longest time. I still see you, man. You're a big dude, man. What's your normal like workout regimen? Because I assume you still work out.
I try to get in there 45 minutes every other day if I can.
Yeah.
And I love the incline bench. The incline bench is my favorite. Somebody once said that the incline will make a man out of you.
Right.
And they said that the incline bench will always be empty because it hurts. So incline is my favorite. If you go to my Instagram, there's a couple things of me bench throwing 405, 415 around a little bit. Not a whole lot, but some. So I just try to hit it heavy and hit it quick. That's my goal. Right.
And Rama, you said that you're a fan of UFC?
Yeah, I mean, it was a few years back. Unfortunately, I'm not so much into it. I have a 2-year-old, but
right.
Yeah, I used to get everybody together and watch. I mean, I think I went to like a Hickson Gracie fight. Unfortunately, it only lasted for about, I don't know, like 5 minutes.
Right.
But, yeah, I get down with it sometimes.
Yeah.
I used to watch the I don't remember the show. It was like where they're making the UFC fighters, They
the
got all
Ultimate
the guys
Fighter?
Huh?
Yeah, the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
Is that still on? I don't even know.
No, they're still doing it. Yeah, they're still doing it.
But, I thought that was great.
Right.
And then to be able to see the guy you were rooting for work fighting.
Yeah.
I remember we had a show in the Palm, and I guess it was the next day that they had like a UFC thing going on.
Okay.
And I remember me and my homeboy got off on the wrong floor, and it was bringing in the ice that they were going to ice the people down with after they got out of the octagon or whatever.
Yeah.
And the amount of ice alone let me know that I'm so glad that I was born after the UFC MMA boom, because I know I would have been dumb enough to be in there getting my ass broken the fuck up. I know I would have been doing it, for sure. I would have had the big-ass cauliflower ears and, like, all that bullshit in there, you know what I mean? Like, I would not have rap, dude. I would have did that. I know I would have did it, man, for sure.
Oh, crap.
I would have had Anderson Silva kicking my fucking beard off my feet. Like, it'd have been bad, man. It'd have been bad. Oh, who knows? I might have been a bad motherfucker. Who knows? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
Sure.
Right, man. Possibly. Shit. Hey, like when you kind of look back to your early years, Chino, of of getting in the rap game and everything, which sort of like your fondest memories of of those early years, especially when that No Complex video really started to boom.
Man, I remember going to all the music seminars. They used to have Jack the Rapper and all these different ones. I can't remember them. I used to go to all the seminars or whatever because I was with Rick Rubin in a group and everything, like a couple years before my solo album came out.
Right.
And I remember always going through, and I knew a lot of people or whatever, but kind of being like a, persona non grata pretty much. I remember going to whatever it was in Atlanta, and my snippet tape had been, given out or whatever because the album was going to come out, and I had got source quotables in the source. And I remember going to being at the seminar, and I would walk by, everybody's like, oh, Chino XL, he's got whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, did you hear his snippet tape or whatever? And kind of knew that, like, I was about to start off on this journey of trying to, be one of the best at the craft, from what, like, people were telling me and whatever. And I remember the excitement walking around by myself and walking by Lauren Hill. I was like, oh, that's Chino. That's different shit like that. Like I felt like a storm brewing, like walking through there. So that's one of my fondest memories. I think that was probably the realest moment because there was no videos, there was no politics involved. It was just the music that had been listened to without prejudice. At that point.
Right.
And they say you have your whole life to make your first album and only like a couple years to make the next one in 10 months. So that was a real purgatory before any fame and any money and any drama or whatever. So that was a great feeling. I have other moments, but that one was really, it was pure, I remember.
And what's it kind of feel like to kind of look back, or just kind of think about, it's been over 20 years you've been in the game and you're still making records. You're still here making music. How does that feel?
I feel like that I definitely put my time into being a master into the craft, and it's paid off. And the respect for the art form has paid off. And I feel like some of the decisions that I made to not compromise the art form itself have paid off. So I look through, 2 decades with fondness because I look at it from each composition, from each guest appearance, from each, relationship that I have with other artists, other Jedis. So I just really think that what has kept me afloat has really been the love of the craft. And when it comes down to it, it's what it is. Like, you rap. That's what it is. It's not what kind of shoes you have. It's not what kind of, gimmick you had. It's like, if you're a basketball player and you're so great, like why everybody I feel like Tim Duncan so much, it's like he wasn't flashy or nothing, but the craft, the craftsmanship, the ability that he had in the fundamentals was so great that it carried him through years and years when he was even obscure, but he was still winning trophies. He still had reign.
Right.
So I looked at my life, through my whole career from a craftsman point of view. And I can say, hey, man, I've been in the box, I've been in the ring with almost every lyricist that is a master, and I've held my own.
Definitely. And Rama, how does it feel to sort of work with somebody who's been so seasoned in the music industry for so long?
It's great. I really love hearing the stories and learning his outlook on things. I was signed when I was 16. I've been in the music industry up until this point as well, but I haven't had success. And, it's funny to get to this point. He was with me on my first radio show. We've been doing radio shows. No, he's just always got my back. And it's always great to be with, someone who's kind of been through it. So yeah,
definitely. To kind of close out this interview, what's next for both of you?
Well, we are actually jumping in the studio and finishing our EP. We're coming out as A Bad Day for Sorry. So that's exciting. That's something to look forward to.
Cool.
Chino, you got anything to add?
Oh yeah. We're doing a group thing with a band, and the music sounds really good and it sounds authentic. And it's like if you like this song, there's more where that came from.
Right.
And and Rama Duke is the artist that I'm putting on.
Awesome. All right, it's been great to talking with both of you. Where can people find you online?
For me, at Chino XL on all platforms.
And I'm at Rama Duke, and I think my Twitter handle is I am Rama Duke.
All right, cool. All right, it's been great talking with y'all. Have a good day and good luck with everything.
You too.
I really
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it, man. And keep my number, man. You need anything, just text me or call me. It's all good, man. I appreciate and respect what you do, bro, for a long time.
Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt. Thank you. Well, that was my interview with Chino XL and Rama Duke. Go to 1520entertainment.com to check out the video for Under the Bridge and support them. And now, like always, I'm joined by my guest host, pro wrestling and MMA connoisseur, Detroit hip-hop artist, and proud Marine, Vstylez. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. What's going on, Kelly? You good?
Man, I'm good, man. There's lots to talk about in the world of MMA and pro wrestling. We're always talking about like UFC, so I think this week there's other things to talk about. There's some cool shit going on, outside the UFC universe. There's a few small things I do want to talk about, but there's
I've been saying this forever. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Right now we're 2 weeks ahead of the rematch between King Mo and Rampage, Bellator 175. You have an in with King Mo. How's he feeling right now? Is he ready to go? Is he ready to punch his face in?
Mo was ready last month. He stays in fight shape.
Right.
The problem is you never want to overtrain. So what Mo has to do, he has to slow down, take a quick break, maybe 2-3 days.
Right.
But he's always in fight shape. He's probably going to go into the fight about 215, 220, probably the heaviest. I just think this is going to be a completely different outcome than last time. Mo's fight IQ is high ceiling, so I just think he's going to keep Rampage off balance, and he's ready to go. He's, like I said, he was ready last month to fight, man. He's been, chopping at the bit for a minute, man. So, I'm looking forward to it. Rampage got me blocked, so fuck him.
Right.
And you blocked too, man. So he can't be having both Fresh the Word podcast members blocked from his damn Twitter account. That's some bullshit, Rampage.
And dude, he blocked me on Instagram also.
Oh wow! See, I haven't even looked at I haven't even see. You might have one up on me. I don't know if he got me blocked on Instagram, but I'm about to find out. The old suck ass, he a suck ass dude. Man.
Right, man. Where's the love, man? Where's the love, Rampage? Come on, man.
You a fucking dude that knocks people out for a living. You can't take no criticism. Fuck out of here, man. Dudes be too big to be, bitches, man. Come on, man. Cut all that shit out. It's lame.
Right, man. I'm look, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for King Mo to avenge his
he ain't
loss.
got me blocked, but I don't follow him neither.
Right.
I almost want to hit follow to see if my shit says block.
Mine says block.
Nah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not. I ain't about to look. Yeah, fuck that dude, man.
But
he ain't in fight shape. Even the shits that I've been seeing as far as the little clips, he still look like like a blow up fish. His jaws just big, like he had a couple jelly donuts. He don't look. he don't look like that Rampage that, at least on the outside looking in. I don't know. I haven't seen him training, but his body says, yeah, I'm working out, but, not so much. That's what I see.
Right.
So I just think he probably go in there, gas out the first round, and, Mo's going to catch him. Mo is going to catch him. Sensitive ass stuff. But go ahead.
Right.
You need some love, Rampage. You need some love, damn it.
Right. And some other Bellator news. It was reported today that Lorenz Larkin is officially with the company.
My boy, the Monsoon. I've been a Lorenz Larkin fan for a minute. Even when he fought Mo, I still was a fan, even though I was hoping Mo put it on him. But he's a good kid, man. Not kid in the kid aspect, but he's what's right about MMA. You know what I'm saying? He just wants to fight. He want to fight, go in there and prove himself.
Yeah.
And he want fights, man. That dude beat the number 5 welterweight in the world on his last fight in the UFC, and they want to try to give him a bold deal. I've been telling people for the longest, it's all good that UFC, but what good is being in the UFC and you're not really gaining from being in the UFC. Just to have the title UFC fighter, but you're not making no bread.
Right.
I make more than some of them dudes. So, just sitting back, looking at it, it's like, wow, man, whatever.
Yeah. Well, the Bellator welterweight division starting to take shape nicely. Right now, they have Douglas Lima, Andrei Koreshkov, Paul Daly, MVP, Rory McDonald, and Lorenz Larkin. Now it's gonna be pretty fun.
That division is pretty stacked.
Right.
Pretty stacked, and some of them dudes could go up to middleweight. Lorenz started. A lot of people don't realize, but Lorenz used to be a light heavyweight. He started he was an undersized light heavyweight. And then he fought Mo and said, you know what, I'm not strong enough. So he went to middleweight. Didn't really have a good stay at middleweight. So he said, you know what, I'm going to go to welterweight. And welterweight has been that's where he's most comfortable, and that's where we've seen his top wins at. So, I'm a Lorenz Larkin fan, nothing but the best for him. I wish nothing but the best for him. I'm pretty sure I'll see him at a couple of these Bellator events soon. And, get money, man. Get money. Fighters' windows are super short, super small.
Right.
Get in, get out. Get what you're going to get and move on to the next, man, because being in the UFC is not making you no bread, then you need to get out the UFC.
Right. With now that Lorenz Larkin's officially with Bellator, word is that Ryan Bader might be soon to follow.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Ryan Bader in Bellator. Maybe him and Phil can get it on again. Who won that fight between him and Phil? Was it Ryan or Phil?
Not sure.
I think they gave that fight to Ryan Bader. I could be wrong.
Let's see here. Bader beat Phil Davis. Split decision.
I don't think Bader beats Mo. I think Mo connects and knocks him out. I think Mo's wrestling is stronger than Bader's. There's levels to wrestling, and Bader definitely wasn't on the world level, more collegiate, national than anything. He come over to Bellator. I mean, I look at it like this, good for Bellator, man. Keep on bringing them, man. I'm telling you, the tide is slowly turning, man. Pretty soon people are going to be saying, MMA instead of seeing UFC.
Right. Turning into some Michigan stuff. There's a few Michigan fighters I want to talk about for a few. First, we don't really talk about boxing too much, but did you check out the Claressa Shields fight the other night?
Yep, I watched it.
Cool. Yeah.
I watched it.
Yeah, she was the first woman to ever headline a Showtime primetime event, and
that's super dope.
Yeah, and
I got a comment about that, but I'm gonna wait till you finish. Go ahead.
But yeah, tomorrow when this episode post, it'll actually be her 22nd birthday.
Oh, that's dope.
Right.
That's dope.
So happy birthday, Claressa Shields.
Wow.
But yeah, it was. I didn't even know that fight was actually in Detroit. I might have actually gone to it if I actually knew it was in Detroit.
Yeah, I think MGM promoted it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it was at the casino. But it was definitely down here downtown somewhere.
Yeah, it was somewhere at the MGM Grand, like somewhere in there. Yeah.
I love what she's doing for boxing, not just women's boxing. She's obviously skilled. Rumor has it that she banged a lot of dudes out, boxing wise. You know, dudes get in the ring with her.
Yeah.
It ain't a pretty sight when you know, after stepping out of the ring for her. But she has a nice reputation. But I will say this. I love the fact she was on Showtime. Super look. But you are only as good as the people that they put in front of you. And she fought a can. You know, she smashed the can. She did her job, and that's not her fault.
Right.
But she fought a can. I wish that, you know, Claressa has a skill. Her skill is better than everybody else's. Unfortunately, when you're talking about women fighters, there's not a lot of people that are going to be, you know, ahead of her on any level.
Right.
Because she's just that good. So, you know, we all have to keep in mind, you know, it's similar to Ronda Rousey, except in this case, Claressa is the goods. You know, she can throw them. I just hope that there's some competition out there for her because, you know, looking at her, you know she's that good, but, you know, is she going to have somebody to push her so we can see the greatness that's within her? Because you know what's in her. Right. But is it just going to be a cakewalk every time she gets, you know, in that ring? So, you know, I'm definitely going to be watching her like I watched her in the Olympics. Yeah. You know, doing her gold medal, you know, her 2 gold medal, you know, events. Yeah, sky's the limit for her, man. Big ups to her. I just hope they have some competition for her so we can see, you know, what I know of greatness being in her. Yeah. You know, 'cause she can throw them hands.
Yeah, definitely. Representing Flint Town.
Mm-hmm.
Flint Town.
Flint. the Flintstones. John Connor. What up, John? What up, Team Cleves?
Yeah. Speaking of Flint Town, UFC's Platinum Mike Perry is set to face Jake Ellenberger coming up on April 22nd on the Nashville card. It was funny. Both these guys actually called into Chael Sonnen's podcast, and they had a really fun back and forth of trash talking.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
I gotta go back and hear this, man. Cause Chael Sonnen talk mad shit, man. So I wanna, Jake got it in him right there. Jake talk shit.
Yeah, them two were like going back and forth. They both called in at the same time, man. And you know, Chael kind of stokes the fire, you know. And it was actually kind of fun to listen to them guys go back and forth. So yeah, it was pretty dope.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to pull that up.
Mike Perry sounds like he's from Flint, man.
Oh, straight up?
Yeah.
Mike Perry, is he from Flint?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's funny. That's fucking funny. Okay. Makes sense now. Okay.
Yeah, dude. It was pretty. It was good back and forth. So like, yeah, Mike Perry lost. You know, after having an undefeated win streak for a while, he did lose his last fight. A couple months ago, I forget which pay-per-view or event it was. I believe he did get submitted out, but he's definitely a fighter that I'm still he's very exciting to watch, even though he lost to Alan Jouban by decision back in December on that same card, the Van Zandt Watterson card.
Mm-hmm.
That was his first loss. He's 9-1 now, but he's a very. I think Mike Perry is definitely somebody who's he's exciting to watch, and you know he talks a lot of shit like a lot of people do, but he is very exciting to watch. So you know he's somebody that definitely keep eye on. You know, and definitely he's from Flint also, so you know Flint represent.
Flint most definitely represent.
Definitely. And another Michigan fighter is. Did you catch the Kevin Lee fight the other night?
I don't even know if he won or not. Did he win?
Yeah, he won by a rear naked choke in the second round.
Okay.
Yeah, he was actually he actually got into a little bit of trouble in the first round, but he bounced back in the second round and submitted Trinaldo in the second round with a rear naked choke.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, it was actually it was actually a pretty impressive finish for him. But yeah, he did get a little trouble in the first round. He did catch a few punches. I think he actually got stumbled, knocked down once. But I was like, oh man, Kevin Lee's kind of in trouble, man. But he pulled it out in the end. No, the funny thing was though is after his post-fight interview in the cage, it was actually kind of funny because I'm just kind of paraphrasing, but it was basically like, this is Brazil, it can be dangerous, but I'm from Detroit, I can handle it.
Word.
Oh, and then after that he called out Khabib.
He ain't ready for that.
Nah, I know. I'm like, all right, Kevin, you're from Detroit, cool, man, but I don't think you're ready for those Khabib problems.
Yeah, he need to go ahead and just chill. Yeah, he need to go ahead and he don't want some problems. He need to.
Anyways, man, Detroit.
I get it. I get you looking for a nice fight, but I mean, Kev, you're not necessarily from the D, but you use Detroit's, residents as far as when UFC. I got a Kevin Lee story, man. I remember when he moved to Vegas, I used to talk to him on Twitter all the time. I'm like, oh, you should go down there and you go to Mayweather gym. And, I said, yeah, go holler at Jeff. He was like, Jeff who? Now I see him down at Mayweather's gym. It's like, okay, all right, I see you now. It ain't, at least you he's sharpening his hands in the right place. But, he's a kid, and, I wish him the best. I want to see him succeed. Anybody from here, people say you can make it, be in New York, you make it from New York, you can make it anywhere. I believe the same principle for Detroit. So, go for it. Go for it. I'm glad he won. I didn't know if he had won or lost, but that was it. And I got it. I just haven't even looked at it because I've been so busy.
Definitely. Right. Yeah, also this past weekend, I did watch One Championship's Warrior Kingdom event. And that I actually had so much fun watching it. It was a really good event, man. Like I really like the product that that they're putting out.
Yeah, there's money over there too, man. Like people, I'm telling you, I keep telling people, you get to talking about UFC, and, you know, ONE FC ratings is through the roof. You know, over there in Asia. You know, so. You know, I get people in the whole UFC, you know, but it ain't the only ball game anymore, man. People need to start waking up and seeing what's real, man. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna take one big name to tilt everything, and that day is gonna come. Eventually somebody's gonna get mad. They're gonna get mad that day and be like, you know what? Fuck you.
And over the past couple years, there's been significant ground that a company like ONE Championship has been able to, had some headway out in their region of the world. Like they've grown substantially over the past couple years.
You know what UFC will say though? UFC will say, well, you know, Brandon Vera, he couldn't win here, but hey, he's great that he's champion there. Like, their product is just so much better than, everybody else's. And it's like, man, come the fuck on, man. He's a champion now. He's a ONE FC world champion. You give it up for that, man. You know, it's just funny. Is Ben Askren still champion over there?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what his next fight is. I met Ben Askren. He was okay.
Yeah, for the Warrior Kingdom event this past weekend, it was headlined by one of their,
females.
They're famous. Yeah, yeah, woman of they're one of the faces of their company, Angela Lee. She had a really great performance, and and we've talked about this with other women fighters, like how they've been able to add things, reinvent themselves, always coming with something new each fight, And she's always been known as, a submission artist, her ground game, stuff like that. This fight against Jenny Huang, she was on her feet striking for most of this fight. And she ate a few punches, and Jenny was as I would say, as Stone Cold Steve Austin would say, a tough son of a bitch. But but it was a great fight. She actually had a really great striking performance, and then she ended up winning by submission. She went back to what she knows, but she showed some more things than her previous fights. So it was actually a really great fight to watch.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Good for her, man. I'm happy when other promotions are winning.
Yeah.
It shows that, you do have a choice. So yeah, good for ONE FC.
Yeah, and they already announced Angela Lee's next fight's going to be in Singapore on May 26th. Their event then. And the other thing was, it was crazy. Throughout that whole main card for Warrior Kingdom, there was all the fights were really good, and there was a couple of fights that were almost stopped for one fighter, only to be stopped by the other fighter later. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was great comebacks. It was just all in all. It was the main card was actually, it was time wise was 2.5, 3 hours, but it didn't seem like it. It went by. It didn't seem
real
like it
quick.
was. Yeah, it went by really quick. It was very enjoyable, and I really enjoyed their product. There's just little things about their production that is it's really dope. Just some of their camera work, how they switch between cameras. They keep it always interesting for the people watching online or at home. There's just all these little things. They do the showmanship. There was one person who came out like a like a genie was coming out of a bottle or something.
Wow.
Then there's
okay.
another fighter that came out like a Power Ranger. It was shit like that, but it wasn't as over the top as like what like maybe like Ryzen does. But there's still like a showmanship about the entrances, and it was a great show. I really enjoyed everything about it. You know, I'm super excited to see, you know, to follow the and another thing I like about, you know, this company is like they pride themselves on more of like the honor and positive aspects of martial arts. Stuff like that. They don't do the trash talking. Everything's about honor between the fighters. There's no negativity. There's all that. Just trying to just be competitive, and you have like their top fighters. They push their top figers. They do. They get press. They get press on CNN, in Forbes magazine. So they tell the story of these people, in building these fights, and they create these great stories to be able to connect to before watching these fights.
Exactly.
And that's what I enjoy. Like it makes me
Something
wonder.
that the UFC don't do no more.
Exactly. It makes me wonder about like someone like Demetrius Johnson. A fighter like Demetrius Johnson in one championship would have so much press behind him. Like he would be he would have articles written about him in every major publication that they could reach, and he would be in Forbes, he would be on CNN, he would be on stuff like that. But here over on this side of the world, he's just, you know, very much slapped on, and he's one of the only couple champions that has actually been defending his belt, you know,
on the regular.
On
he
the
can't
regular.
Get no love,
and he just continues to want to, you know. He just wants to continue to, you know, defend his belt. That's what he wants to do, you know. And
they won't, you know. It would be nice if they put him on pay-per-view, you know, most of the time, man, so he can, you know, get a nice check, man, instead of always headlining a Fox card. You know, you're quick to say all champions headline, but seem like you always have him headlining Fox events. You know, well, he doesn't draw a good number. That's because, you know, he does his job. How about you guys doing your job and promoting him correctly?
See,
you know, something that they don't do.
And to a certain extent, I just don't believe the whole he doesn't draw numbers. Like, how many fighters really do, you know, in the UFC right now without the fighters themselves actually promoting themselves, you know?
Well, you definitely know that Connor don't need nothing because he show up and he's pretty much the whole damn show.
Right.
But name somebody else that has that power.
Right. So you can't. So what's the problem with having someone like Demetrius Johnson on a pay-per-view? You're gonna get.
For me, it'd be great. For them, I don't think when you're looking at dollars and cents, I don't think they think it makes sense to have them on a pay-per-view if they're not going to see a return from it. So, I think it's stupid. I think he's your champion. He's your, you know, one of your most dominant champions ever. So you mean to tell me, you know, you can't have him, you know, on pay-per-views? That's bullshit. He deserves better. Hope he gets a significant pay raise.
Right.
Because if ONE FC offered him all type of bread, he'd be a fool not to take it.
Oh, definitely. And like I said, a company like ONE FC would definitely push, you know, take all their backing behind him, and he would be like, you know, one of the faces of that company, because he really does embody the type of spirit
of what they want,
of what they're about, you know, and it's too bad that someone like him doesn't get the props that he deserves, you know, in the UFC.
Totally agree. Big up to Demetrius Johnson.
Have you
big up to that guy.
Have you seen this other this promotion that's based out of Russia, ACB?
I heard about it the other day, but I haven't seen it. But I did read that you know, it's up and coming or something like that.
Yeah, like they it's based out of Russia, but they're actually been doing events like in Europe, like in the UK and whatnot. They stream their events for free on YouTube, and it's also on the Fight app also. I was able to check out a few of the fights the other day when it was on live. It actually looks
Fedor's old company, Global. What is it? F1.
Something like that.
And I'm trying to think because Fedor had a company, F1 or something like that.
M1?
I'm trying to wonder if that's where they putting their energy at now.
Like M1 Global?
M1 Global, yeah.
Yeah. But the ACB was actually, like, I watched a little bit of it, and it was actually very impressive. Really great production value. They had some, like, really crazy endings to some of the fights. The ones that I saw really quickly. It looks very exciting. Like, the one thing, though, is, like, the full card that they televised was, like, freaking 25 fights. The shit went, like, 6 hours long. Mm-hmm. I was like... No, I'm not watching that much MMA, along with all the other MMA that I'm watching this weekend.
Right.
So, but no, that's definitely something I want to keep the eye on because it. But what it seems like, and the funny thing is, they say it in their motto. The motto of this company is, it's something like. More fight less show, more fighting, and it's actually and it's actually true. Once one fight's over, the next one's ready to go pretty quickly.
and they pretty much rush their fighters out to the cage.
Yeah, so yeah, and that's something I did notice. But they had some crazy finishes on this last event. I gotta go back and watch a couple of those fights, but some crazy submission finishes, but no, it looks like and they seem to have like good production value for their product, and they had good announcers too. That's something that I kind of notice sometimes is you get announcers. Sometimes they have fighters that are announcers, and the fighters are always trying to be funny, and I hate that.
Yeah, because it can come off corny.
It comes off corny most of the time. But no, they seem to have a good product, good announcers. So, you know, that's, you know, to me, that's, another company that seems to be, gaining some popularity and gaining some ground in the world MMA game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to have to look up ONE FC's last event. See if I can find it and watch it so I can critique it, man. I wonder when Vera is going to be fighting again. The heavyweight champion.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've announced when he's going to be fighting again.
He gotta have something coming up soon. It's been a couple months now.
Right. Let's see. Okay, kind of changing the gears a little bit to the world of professional wrestling. It was announced that John Cena is actually going to be inducting Kurt Angle into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I've seen that today. I'm not mad at that. It's not a bad choice.
No, because Like
I think Kurt Angle is the one the first one that told John Cena that he's going to be it. You're going to be that guy.
Yeah, and John Cena made his debut.
Beating Kurt Angle.
Yeah, stepping up to Kurt Angle and
back when he actually wore tights in real wrestling attire.
That looks weird to look back on.
And he had like a military buzz cut, like Guile from not so long, but his shit was super buzz cut, like he just was out of boot camp.
Right. And that looking back, it's a little weird to see that. You're like, man, that was back when he was wearing wearing wrestling gear and had the buzz.
Yeah,
cut.
white boots on. I think he had white boots on and yellow tights.
Yeah, that was weird to see looking back. And then
I remember that shit.
And then soon after, we got the Doctor of Thugonomics.
But you know what though? You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I was a John Cena fan when he used to come to the ring with throwbacks on rhyming. That shit was wonderful, man. That was a great time in professional wrestling.
It was, man. Yeah, I like Cena.
You didn't know what he was gonna say.
Right.
You know, and back then that was before he had his album, and a lot of people don't know. Bumpy wrote a lot on that album. We talk about John Cena all the time because, you know, Bumpy was instrumental. He recorded damn near 80% of that project at Bump Studio. And, you know, I think Bump had a couple of songs on there. He had a lot of bars on there, man, but he was instrumental in that gold album for John Cena, man. So, yeah, Bump always say he had, you know, he might be a wrestler, but he could spit. He said, nah, that's why I fuck with him, because he really could spit. And you could tell he could spit with the freestyles when he's coming to the ring. You know, people will say, man, well, he got a writer. That shit felt real to me.
Right. Nah, that's definitely a dope part of his career.
It wasn't until he started dressing like Fruity Pebbles that, you know, I'm like, man, my son loves John Cena. He's a John Cena mark. John Cena is good for the kids. The kids love John Cena. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm an AJ Styles type of guy.
Right. We're definitely into the WrestleMania season now. All sorts of things are coming together. Pretty much everything that got rumored is happening in regards to matches for WrestleMania. And it's crazy. No, the crazy thing is that I love SmackDown's like continuity with everything. Mm-hmm. This past week, AJ Styles ends up attacking Shane McMahon, putting him through the window of the vehicle, and later in the episode, Daniel Bryan ends up firing AJ Styles. Do you know what the best part about all that is? On WWE.com, they actually put AJ Styles in the alumni section. I was like, that's great for continuity, man. I love that. I love that show puts that much detail.
Talking about sticking to a storyline, boy.
Right, sticking to the storyline. You put them in the alumni, and I was like, that's great. That's great, man. I like that. So yeah,
I'm still a little disappointed because there's no way in the world AJ Styles should be facing Shane McMahon. Not in the biggest pay-per-view of the year for wrestling.
Nah. It shouldn't be that way, but I think when it comes, I mean,
I fucked with Shane O'Mac too.
Right. I think
he rocked New Jays every week.
Right. I think that the match actually might be really good, and it might actually like shock us and actually be really good, but the whole position of it sucks. That
AJ Styles can make anybody look good.
Oh, definitely. We've talked about that many of times, you know. But
he can make anybody look good. So for me, it's like, man, come on, man. That guy's the best in the world, man. Treat him as such.
Yeah, it just sucks that he's not a part of any sort of title or any sort of significant match of, you know, like an Undertaker match or something like that, which is like a significant being that he's going against, you know. They
still got time. They got time to save this storyline.
We'll see.
Let's see. Bring Daniel Bryan out of retirement. That would make more sense. To go against AJ Styles at WrestleMania, or two other things. Shinsuke Nakamura, the rumor for the longest has been he's going to be coming up to a brand soon. What better way to have that match at the grandest stage of it all?
I would love
at
that.
WrestleMania. Or do a crazy switch that nobody would think of. Have Finn Balor come over to SmackDown, and really nothing will be lost because he never really wrestled on the Raw brand because he gave the title up the next day.
Right.
So I mean, it got to be something better than fucking that.
Yeah, it would be nice if they from here to WrestleMania that they did some sort of swerve in the plans, because everything that was rumored for months is happening exactly how it was rumored.
I'm really hating this Roman Reigns Undertaker shit.
Oh man, like no.
This is my yard. No, motherfucker, it's not
my
your yard.
It's so corny, man. It's like, come on, man. Don't, no. It's, I'm really not. I'm not feeling anything. The thing was like on Raw this week, it was just like another lackluster Raw until the end. That end was actually really dope. It started off being stupid with the whole Mick Foley has to fire somebody, Stephanie McMahon making him fire somebody, but then he ends up like saying that he's gonna fire Stephanie McMahon, and then Triple H comes out.
I love that. I ain't gonna front. I love that shit.
Dude, that whole ending was fire, man. And then Triple H comes out and does another great promo, and that was actually hilarious. And then Seth Rollins comes out. Man, okay, that was just...
How about them shots to the knee?
Man, that was savage, man. Like,
that was great.
I was just like, oh my God, is he still hurt?
He has the nickname, the Cerebral Assassin.
I mean, yeah, he came out and he showed everybody how it's done, man. How it is to be a true heel.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that.
That was such a great ending to Raw. That was like the best ending in Raw for a long time.
I really don't like Stephanie McMahon, man. Really don't like her. She's like the most perfect heel that you can think of.
Right, yeah. Everything worked out just so like perfectly at the end there. That was such a great ending. So it finally got things kind of. That was the one thing is is Seth Rollins going to be back for WrestleMania? What's going to go on? You know, that was a nice little. I mean, and we're like, and we're still like, how injured was he? How healed is he now? You know, from what I hear, he's still not cleared to actually perform in the ring. You know, do matches yet. I'm not sure what's going to be the final WrestleMania thing, if he's going to be able to actually have a match at WrestleMania. Well, we'll see. So actually, you know, it's kind of cool to have sort of that mystery, I guess.
Maybe it might be Finn Balor filling in for him.
Right. They're like, I know there's been like,
Dark matches.
Like Samoa Joe's come up, and kind of been that guy that came out of nowhere recently for Triple H. But I feel like there needs to be somebody else that like just comes out of nowhere. Like
they've been talking about this new evolution. KO, Triple H. I don't think Triple H would be active wrestling, but KO, Triple H, Samoa Joe, and I think they're looking for another member or something like that.
Yeah, they need like one more, and usually WWE isn't too keen on like premiering somebody at WrestleMania. They usually do it the night after on the Raw. But I think this year it would be dope if they actually had somebody, a mystery or something at WrestleMania. Like, don't do anything. Don't premiere this person until WrestleMania.
They need to do something because Raw is getting tired.
Oh. It's so much. I don't even have words anymore. It's like
I do. Abysmal. Extremely bad.
I can't even remember what happens on Raw anymore because I'm so checked out while watching it. And I'm just like...
I used to be a big fan of Enzo and Cass.
Me too. And now it's just like, they're just annoying to me now. I'm like...
Super annoying. Enzo, as great as his mic skills are, he sucks in the ring, man. He blows.
It just, like, there's so much stuff, like, on Raw that just doesn't, like, the continuity always is just very lackluster. Like, are you trying to tell me, like, after Kevin Owens loses the Universal title, that he just doesn't care about it anymore?
Right.
He just doesn't care
All of a sudden, he jumps up and says, "You know what? I want the United States title."
Since you cost me my title, I'm going to take yours. Like, are you...
Like, so basically what you're telling us is Chris about to go on the road with Fozzy, so he's going to drop the belt to you so he can go on the road, and then when he come back, y'all can continue y'all feud. See, it's shit like that it's like, man, come on, dude. But whenever I flick it on SmackDown, it doesn't give me the same feel. It gives me the damn, what's going to happen next? Oh, speaking of which, man, I just love that reverse kick by my girl, Mickie James.
Oh, the Mick kick?
Oh, man, that was wonderful, man. She picked up the 1-2-3-2. That was, man.
Yo, that Mick kick is fire, man. She still got it, man.
Yeah, you still got it, Mickey.
Man,
you still got it. Let me do your clap. Okay. Just had a moment. Don't judge me.
I know. But
we love you, girl. Go ahead.
But yeah, over on SmackDown, there's definitely just these, good storylines. There's things going on that are actually, there's continuity. Like you have the match now with John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice, and I love everything about this because there's a continuity between SmackDown and Total Divas, and they're bringing shit that, like, is it real or is it a work? The whole thing about where back years ago the Bellas blocked like 3 of the divas from coming back, re-signing with WWE, and it's like
bitches do shit like that.
I'm like, is this
Oops.
Is this like a real thing, or are they bringing reality into the work? I'm like, because is this real heat, man? Because this is like, I'm digging this, man. This is fun to watch.
Yeah, females do catty stuff like that. They do.
Man.
You know, they will. They can't come back here. You know, females don't like it when there's other competition in the house. It take the shine from them. Dudes not like that though. We don't give a fuck. We go out our own account. But if it's a female and it can be ultra competitive, yeah, females will drop a dime. They will throw a banana on the ground so you can slip on it.
But I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But I'm telling you, man, the stuff
Be like, dang, you don't even know her. Why you dogging her out? I can just tell. What?
But I'm telling you, man, the stuff that Miz and Maurice have been doing lately, man, I'm like, they drop in some like things. I'm like, that sounds true, man. Like, no, okay, this is the weird thing about WWE. What's up with the heels being the rational people, the people like spitting the truth, and it's like the faces are the ones that don't make any sense, you know?
At all, yeah, that's real. The only face that makes sense is Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is the only reason that I watch Raw right now.
Right.
I watched him wrestle throughout the years, man. But when he's on the mic, oh man, it's something to behold, to just sit back and watch and anticipate what's gonna come next. Like, 'cause I knew this week, you know, when he started going back and forth with old boy, I said, yeah, he about to put him on the list. Then 2 seconds later, it was like, you know what happens? I said, yes. That's the part of the show where I turn the TV up as loud as it goes. The best part of the show for me, man. Once I see that, I'm not really interested in Raw no more. That's what keeps me up. Chris Jericho segments, you know, or him wrestling or something to that capacity, man. But it's not like that with SmackDown. With SmackDown, I watch the whole show because the entire show is good. So yeah.
There's this weird thing though, like where like the heels will be the rational ones. Like, do you remember like when the whole thing with Enzo and Cass and Rusev and Lana? Like, look, Rusev and Lana are supposed to be the heels, but Enzo is the one going after a married woman.
Right.
And he's the babyface?
And somehow people mad at Rusev because he, in their mind, he hating on him going after his husband, after his wife.
Right.
Like, you crazy. That's some yeah, man, that's crazy. That's poor storyline shit, though.
It's shit like that,
you blame
man.
that on the writers.
Right, man. It's shit like that. You're like, who, what? Like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. But, man. Wait.
Sad but true.
Speaking of more WWE programming, did you see like the short little commercial that I tagged you on for the Southpaw Regional Wrestling?
That shit had me in tears, bro.
Dude, this has the potential to be one of the best things that WWE has ever done. It looks fantastic. The best part about it that I'm like super psyched is I got to see to what extent they let Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows go with their characters, because these are characters that they were doing in Japan on their
in New Japan, and
when they're doing Talking
Honor.
Shop and everything. These are characters they've already been doing on their podcasts, and everybody who knew about those, when we saw that little commercial, we all just popped. We flipped. We're like, because Gallows has this character he calls Sex Ferguson. And most hilarious, like, just sleaze dirtbag guy ever. And we're like, oh my God, we see Sex Ferguson. And I was like, so we'll see how much they're able to do with that if they let them be dirty a little bit with it. But I'm super excited to watch that like Friday night when it premieres, man. Because this
It
actually,
premieres tomorrow?
yeah, premieres Friday, and it has the potential to be in something really, really good for the network, and hopefully it's as good as I hope it is, because that could be very funny.
Okay. That's dope. That's dope.
Definitely,
I definitely will tune in tomorrow for that.
man. It should be funny. Like they did one of the wrestling websites or podcasts. They did ask Gallows about it, and he said, it's kind of based on like the old like territory stuff back in the day, and it just kind of like doing all this, it's kind of like a parody thing where you kind of do all the goofy stuff that you're like, that they're not, able to do on the regular programming, and kind of let their hair down and sort of do. I think it's going to be kind of like a lot of stuff that like wrestling companies kind of do on the indie circuit these days. That doesn't really fit into like the regular like WWE programming that they get to kind of do in part of this show. So I'm super psyched to like check it out.
What time does it come on?
I don't know, actually. I didn't see a time. They just said it premieres tomorrow. So
all right, I'll look for it.
We'll see,
I definitely will look for it.
To kind of close out things this week, there's something I wanted to talk about last week, but we had too much to talk about. It's a little bit of hip hop stuff that's in a way wrestling related. The signing of West Side Gun and Conway to Shady Records. Like, these are my favorite guys in hip hop right now. They have so much.
Dope. They're pretty dope.
They're really grimy sound. They have a bunch of like wrestling references. Even name a bunch of their songs and projects.
You know what though? You know what? And I hate to even, I hate to go here, but how long they been putting out music?
Only like a few years now.
Okay. I have a song with Stretch Money and Buff One. We used to call him Buff One. It's not Buff One anymore, but back when he was Buff One.
Yeah.
I put an intro for Ric Flair on there.
Yeah.
And it's similar to the one that they got on that West Side Gun got on the Hitler on steroids. And I'm listening. I'm like, I've been doing shit like this for a long time. And it's dope. And there's no hate there, but I'm sitting up here like, this shit is dope. This shit is. They have a whole bunch of wrestling references, and I sit back and I be like, wow, these dudes, you can really tell that they fans, because they name drop, like some people name drop, 1, 2, 3 people. They name drop a lot of different people,
right?
Like not on different songs, and they'd be like, wow, only a wrestling head would understand what they doing, So, yeah, salute to them, man. That's a good signing for them, man. I've been seeing a couple people, put up little comments. Well, he ain't signed nobody from the D.
Oh, man, see, that's what I want to talk about, man. This is the thing, man. Every time, like someone like Eminem signs someone to Shady or works with them, there's like at least 2 things that always happens. That, which you just mentioned, about signing people from the D. And I hate that comment I hate that comment so much. I hate that
shit too.
Like,
he can't stand it.
He is in no obligation to sign anyone from Detroit at all.
Yep.
If anybody from Detroit wants to get signed to Shady or any label, they have to put in the work first,
Yeah.
These guys Westside Gun and Conway with their whole Griselda crew, they built something that wasn't necessarily anything on the radio or anything like that, but it had a following, a very solid following. They hooked up with this label called Duape or something like that. I don't know how you and they put out vinyl releases for all their stuff. Usually a significant time after they release the digital. They usually do maybe like 2 or 3 different pressings, and each pressing is only like 250, 300 copies. Each time those go on, they literally have to tell people what day and time they go on sale, because those 300 copies of each pressing like get sold out within 5 minutes.
That's dope.
Like it's stuff like that, you know. They do release a lot of music, but at the same time they don't oversaturate their product at the same time.
They merchandise is crazy too.
Oh, their t-shirts and everything is really dope. It's something that you actually want to wear and stuff. So they've built something without like selling their soul to like whatever's hot on the radio these days. They're doing what they want to do, you know, which is why I'm super excited about this opportunity. And another thing that always comes out with when someone gets signed to Shady, people start looking back to the previous artists that were on Shady and how they did and whatnot. And I think there's always this. If you get signed, you still have to put in the work. You still have to be an artist. Yep. You still have to be in that every step of the way. Like Eminem's not gonna hold your hand the whole way and make you a star. You still have to put in the work. That's when you have to put in the work. Like once you get signed. So if any artist from Shady's past didn't become a superstar or whatnot, didn't get big or anything, you can't fault the Eminem like completely, you know.
Here's the one thing that I'm hoping for as far as Shady is concerned. I hope that being on that label doesn't change the sound that we hear.
And I think...
You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like the shit that I hear now is so raw. It's so, like, I love samples. I love, I just love certain elements when it's presented, from a hip hop artist or a group. Going to a label like Shady, M might want to produce some records, and I don't know if I want to hear them on M beats because I'm so used to hearing them on the type of stuff that I hear them on now. So,
I'm hopeful that they understand the sound that they built and want to keep it on those lines. I mean, they did sort of celebrate the announcement of their signing by releasing a track that was produced by Just Blaze.
But that's an old record though.
Right.
Now, all that is old lyrics over Just Blaze track.
Right.
I get that, totally get that, and I wasn't mad at the Just Blaze record. That if you talking about having them do stuff like that, okay, I'm with that, but don't give me no. I can't hear them on no lose yourself type stuff, and that's no diss, but I just I'm accustomed to hearing them. Like their tracks are not necessarily super up-tempo. They laid back and they hard. They remind me of MOP so much.
Definitely.
For whatever reason, they remind me of MOP, maybe MOP slash, I don't know, slash meth and red. They got a lot of makeup, to them, man. But you don't want to change who they are, man, because it take away from what they be, what we're accustomed to hearing.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and I get that, and I get that sort of criticism that you might want to say towards the signing, that you're scared that they might get that change, might get that sound change, might sway, or go away from what got them there. But hopefully, hopefully this is a different age of just hip hop and how we look at things, and hopefully we can continue to sort of nurture what they already have instead of trying to change them into something that they're not.
Yeah, this shit is dope though, man. I'm glad, I may be a late bloomer when it comes to them dudes, man, but shit, I'm listening now. I've been, listening for the past couple months, man, and yeah, this shit is these dudes is nice. And they're gonna be around. They're gonna be around for a minute.
Man, I've been trying to get those guys on the for the podcast. Sent out a few emails, and then when the announcement came, I was like, "Oh, that's why."
Right.
This is why I wasn't making any headway with these guys.
Real shit.
I was like,
Real shit.
Yeah, that's why. All right, cool. They're on shady. Cool. All right. Good for them, man. But like I say, I was like, this is a victory for all of us wrestling marks out there.
Yeah, and for people that like that type of music, man. That's my type of shit. So,
yeah.
I can ride to that all day. I'm good. I don't need no, that's my trap music. That type shit right there. That's my fucking type of music where I want to punch somebody. Get me in that mindset, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's definitely my type of hip hop also, man. So I'm super excited to see what's going to become of this, man. So
yeah, super fucking hard.
Definitely. All right, man. That's about it for this week's Fresh is the Word. Vstylez, tell them where they can find you online.
Oh, no doubt. You can hit me up. The Twitter with the / Vstylez, VSTYLEZ. Same thing for my main page on Facebook with the / VSTYLEZ, and the same thing with Instagram, VSTYLEZ. You can hit me up at my verified page on Facebook at Official Vstylez, Official VSTYLEZ. And that'll be about it.
Word up. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Fresh is the word.